right, good Friday, everyone. 12:42, another afternoon update. Welcome to Storm Talk, which will change to Derby Talk next week for a few days anyway. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome aboard here. Obviously, as you guys might imagine, we've got a lot to cover as we evolve here, not only just for today, the weekend at least will give us a little bit of a break, but then we're back to active weather next week. Additional alert days have been issued to account for that. That's set up. You've been watching this week on our streaming channels and the blog. That was our concern. Now we got a little bit more finer data, so alert days have been declared. But it's not all bad news. There are some silver linings to that too that I'll cover as well coming up in just a few minutes. All right, you guys ready? Ready to buckle up? Got your popcorn, your Lindors, whatever you need, orange sickles, creamsicles, whatever those things are. Those are my push-up pops. Yeah, there you go. Hope you're relaxed, enjoying lunch. If you're at work, type 1. If you're at work and I need to talk lower so you don't get in trouble, type 2. And if you are at home watching and enjoying the rainy day, type 3. Just so I know where everybody is. Hello, Angela. Hello to Kevin. Tim, if you're watching on streaming, you can't see the people I'm talking to or hear what I'm saying, but the comments are, except for YouTube. YouTube you'll be able to see, but YouTube, Twitch, even as well as Facebook, obviously, and X. A conversation is there. So 1 and 3, 1 and 3, 1 and 3. Oh, wait a minute, Amanda. Sorry, we'll try to talk a little quieter. I can't help myself sometimes, but it may happen. All right, you ready? Here we go. Let's start with a live look right now at Festiville, where we've got a soggy image there. Yeah, it's been steady rain. That poor Great Lawn. Right at the foot of it, where it was already muddy anyway, but yeah, it's definitely a mud pit now at the foot there of the Great Lawn. Everyone's though, hey, look at that. They got some of the rides like the carousel under the overpass. Smart idea. That allows you then to enjoy some of the activities without being stuck in the rain, right? And that's where all the food is. So it's also a double, a big plus there on that end. But no doubt that's been impacted. Obviously, the rush hour race this morning didn't happen because of low ceiling, and of course, we had rain moving in quickly too. All right, you can tell where the rain has been steadiest, where you got 60s across any area that looks kind of grayish, including around Louisville, and then also down in central Kentucky. But look at the warmth building just to our west. We'll come back around to that here in just a second. Rainfall amounts in the past 30 or so hours. That rain yesterday, I had to drive through some of that. Some of the heaviest rain I've driven through in a long time. And it was my entire route home. A lot of difficulty on 65. The water scenario was just going under. Very heavy rainfall. But it missed the majority of the airport. It missed my house as well. But some of you got walloped, especially around Fairdale and Valley Station, over 2 inches. But over 1 to 2 inches was the general theme, and that range right across wave country. Those of you in Indiana did not see as much, and those of you far south, not as much, except for Greene County. You're the exception. You got quite a bit in Western Greene, especially. But this is the problem, though, is now that we're adding in this additional rainfall that we have out there now. That is, of course, allowing for the ditches and streams to quickly fill up because the yards are waterlogged. So they've been able to drain a bit last night, but not enough to where a steadier rate. Now, this is not overly heavy rain. We don't have a lot of intense thunderstorms like we had yesterday. Rainfall rate matters. Thunderstorms you don't want, because the rainfall rate can be 1 to 2 inches an hour. This is more like 1/4 of an inch an hour. A lot easier to maintain and keeps the streams from getting a little wild. But as we into the afternoon, to get thunderstorms back into this mix, that chance is still there. So we got to watch for the heavier rates that will fall. Quick radar tour. We'll start into parts of the little area in the southern part of the viewing of the metro itself in northern Kentucky. Starting to become a little more of a drizzle scenario for much of downtown. Southern Jefferson County, still steady rain from Mount Washington all the way past the western side there of Taylorsville into Shelby County near Simpsonville. Even heavier than that as you get toward northern Kentucky. A bit of a break in Radcliffe down to Bardstown at the moment. You got some showers across Indiana. These have been trying to develop some lightning at times, aiming quickly toward Crawford County. So in Crawford County, the rainfall rate there will soon begin to go up. Due to that heavier batch rolling on through. This is part of the, if you remember yesterday, I was referring to as like a video game, Boss 1 and Boss 2. This is number 1 that's moving in. Couple issues, number 1, before we say goodbye to it. The sun's been trying to come out in parts of Nelson County, although the clouds have been thinning. There is potential to get enough heating here with this spin of the Vort or Boss number 1 here, moving right over Jasper. If there's anything that can get strong today with any kind of heating, it would be in this area of central Kentucky. I'll show you why, but there is a chance that a brief warning could get issued if that can materialize. Just don't know if it'll have a chance to get going or not. It's possible. Doesn't need much in the way of sun. This is certainly a day where the sun is bad. The Storm Prediction Center has been debating on issuing a marginal risk. They may have already done that. We'll find out with the map in a second. The second area is Vort number 2, our boss number 2, here into Illinois. A little bit of sun coming out near the Wabash, but not exactly strong heating yet, right? But it's still early. For this time of the year, 1247 is early. So it still could develop enough heating to allow for thunderstorms to redevelop, and then that second piece will become even active again with heavier rates as we end this evening. And that's what our main concern really was for this alert day on impacts. We knew there would be some today in general, but some of the events being impacted. But it's ones this evening with that second piece that are our biggest question mark. And if this does not materialize, we'll be letting the alert day go. We'll be fine. We'll wrap this thing up and say goodbye to this setup for today. But if that potential grows, absolutely the concern is going to be for impacts. We're right now taking it hour by hour. I am seeing the cumulus clouds. You can see the bright whites. They are building up into western Kentucky. So far, the sign that Vort number 2, boss number 2 will develop is there. So let's just take it hour by hour and see how it goes. Not a massive severe weather threat here, but this is what will make impacts or not, will be that piece. Here, let me show you the fuel, in fact. This is the next 6 hours. Notice the fuel builds across central Kentucky. Not so much for Indiana itself. It does build up a slight bit, but it does build up ahead of that number 2 into Illinois. So that is what's going to matter. If this is the HER model is right and that does build up and head our way, then we could have some problems there. And then we need to watch those you run the parkways for the next few hours on the southern edge of number 1's wave to make sure that none power up in that little break that you're getting at the moment. Let's check out the Storm Prediction Center. Here is the outlook. All right, they did go with the marginal east of us for the most part. There's an enhanced into northern Texas. Let's take a look at that marginal. It's roughly on the eastern side of that spin. So Vort number 2 is now approaching Louisville. So they're going to go for areas right on the eastern side of that spin that could be perhaps able to power up for warning or two. I think it could be argued a little more west into central Kentucky, but this is Storm Prediction Center. They know what they're doing. I'm just advising that I wouldn't be surprised if some of these power up here. But it does tell us they're not as confident on the second wave even forming, but I am telling you guys that we're not out of the woods yet on that second one. We need to watch it. Does that all make sense? This is all low-end stuff. All right, this is low-end stuff on anything on the strong side of thunderstorms, but the impact is really about just heavy rain bands and the rainfall rate being excessive and canceling more events. That's our main concern more than severe weather right now. All right, type 44 if you're good. Let's see. All right, everyone seems all right. Good. Everyone's kind of discussing rain gauges today. It's apparently a very popular topic on a Friday. Okay, so that's our severe risk in the short term there. So let's show one of our high-res models for the rest of the evening. I know this looks a little overwhelming when you see all this red here, but this is the fuel, and Adam always describes it best. Red is okay, gold not okay, and Adam's right. You get the gold, that's a higher amount of fuel. We don't want that. We want this to stay as dark of a red as possible and to indicate very weak amounts of fuel. But it's one of many high-res models. Again, the radar and the visible satellite I just showed you, the cumulus building up in West Kentucky, those are your best tools in this scenario. This I'm just showing you really just to show you, but it really isn't a great tool anymore. We're too close. But I will show you. It moves on by Vort number 1. All right, here comes number 2. You see where there is some gold, right? There's some fuel that builds up ahead of this. Will it be enough? Yeah. It tries around 10 o'clock and then gone. Loss of daytime heating at that point will win over. So minor issue. All right. The good news about all of that, though, is that we wrap this thing up to where there's not much to talk about on rain when it comes to Saturday. Maybe some pockets of drizzle. Now, here's what's a challenge for the balloons, as I'll show you more detail. But the balloons that will try to launch tomorrow morning, there will be a brief period of clearing. I don't know if it's going to be right at 7 a.m. when the launch is supposed to happen, but it'll be close. But unfortunately, there are more low clouds and drizzle right there in Indiana that will try to move right in moments later. And if that happens, that could influence some of the launches and visibility a bit. But the wind, what you don't see, will be quite gusty. That in itself is going to be a problem. It's right now over the threshold. So if the wind, take the clouds and rain out of the picture altogether, if the wind speed does not change, there's going to be a problem on trying to launch them. But the low clouds and the drizzle would only just certainly seal the balloon race's fate there on that idea. Well, watch it for the runners, though. You're looking fine. Nice and cool weather. Beautiful weather by Saturday afternoon. A little cool in the 60s all day, but very much a spring, typical, lovely spring day. Open United, Churchill Downs, awesome. We get into Sunday. Now, some high clouds start to increase. This is our warm front day. Some of the modeling is trying to develop some virga or rain that doesn't reach the ground. It's trying to pop that on the radar at times here Sunday afternoon. That's possible, but the air looks very dry Sunday, so I'm just not as worried about anything on the rain side. But it will be a pleasant day, so I don't want that to worry you. Even if clouds do increase, it's more of a hazy sunshine, still a pretty sky. But a quiet Sunday, and that's the important thing to point out. And then eventually that will clear out, and we get ready for what will come our way for Derby Week. Okay, let's run through some of these events real quick. First off, in the balloon events, obviously last night or this morning's rush hour race was canceled, but last night even they had a limited show. They only light the flame in the baskets. They couldn't do anything with the balloons because they were waterlogged. So that was kind of a halfway event there. This morning, canceled. Tonight, we're going to give it a caution. We'll let you know as soon as we hear word from them. I'm sure they're going to wait to the very last moment because again, some of these downpours may clear out of here in time. It's all about that second piece. Is that second piece going to be a threat? If so, then they may not want to risk it. But if it's not looking like a threat, they may be in good shape as long as the balloons are able to launch. The wind speed right now doesn't look overly strong. We'll watch that too. We'll keep the rain chance 30%. The balloon race itself, got to keep it in the red just because of that wind. It's the problem there. But again, there could be some patchy drizzle as well. All right. In fact, here's a look at the sounding. I know you're like, ooh, that's a pretty image. That's like Minecraft, doesn't it? This is a look at the sounding where we're standing down here. Airplanes fly way, way up here. So looking at the atmosphere sideways. This is, and you read time backwards on this. So this is now, and this is Sunday or Saturday night. I know it's backwards. Don't ask. What you really want to pay attention to, this is the window to watch for the balloon race. And these are clouds. And notice how they dip down. There is a little bit of clearing that happens here, but then there's that dip down, and there are some stronger wind gusts that happen there too. So that's the reason why, again, the balloon race is going to be down to the wire on that one, but the wind probably will get it. Rest of the weekend, great, 65. We'll go with 70. I think in Louisville could hit 70 easily for next week. For you runners out there, we'll go with 50s. For running weather, oh my, sounds mighty nice, doesn't it? Nice cool breeze, a little damp outside. Don't try to slip there. All right, use some caution running. And for the Pegasus Parade, again, there we go with temperatures generally touching 70 in the warmest part of the day. All right, that takes us up to Derby Week. Any questions that I can try to answer? And there's so many of you here. Sean, when can we expect a Twitch stream playing Outbreak? You may see a Twitch stream here soon. Stay tuned. I'm working on that. Hi, Brian. Thanks for the Storm Talk. Watching to see Derby events to go to Derby with my son. Yeah, we're your spot there. If you're not used to coming here, Sharkman, we're going to be here watching for you. So keep tuning in. We're going to be here daily on Twitch. Sometimes multiple times a day. So look for that live notification. Make sure to give it a follow so you get notified. Okay, everyone seems all right. I don't see any big questions. Everyone just talking about how much rain they got, which is quite a bit. Okay, so let's get right into everyone's favorite segment of the day. It is time to get out my trusty pen. I got it loaded up for you guys, so you don't have to wait too long today. It's pretty easy. And really, Futurecast is going to help you probably more than my drawing will be. But we're still facing the same issues here for Derby Week. Not a lot has changed, just minor details. High pressure to our east, that will be our main warm source and our blocker too. It'll control the fronts as far as how close they can get to us all week long would be this high until really Oaks and Derby, then it's gone. But in the meantime, it allows us to get that warm air for Monday. We'll see what happens when the warm surge arrives, the warm front, if it can generate a thunderstorm or not. That chance has been wavering a bit, but if anything, it's been low. But once it arrives, hello, summer. Temperatures will get into the 80s as we head into Monday and Tuesday, maybe even upper 80s. If we can get up sun breaks, it's possible. Now, at the same time that we have this high sitting here, we've got a cold front moving our way. This is going to be rolling in with showers and thunderstorms. Some of these producing supercells and tornadoes for part of Monday into the plains to our west. The front will get very close to us as we get into Tuesday morning. Maybe some outflows that could roll into southern Indiana, generating a few storms. And there is that one little weak wave that's still doing its sightseeing tour and ahead of the main one. We'll see if that still happens. But the front will become very tilted Tuesday night. Two issues with that. Yes, it focuses the severe weather point, but if it stalls a little further northwest of what I just drew here, that will keep the majority of the severe threat for Indiana. I don't know if Kentucky would even get in on the storm action until very late Tuesday night, more so Wednesday. At that point, they'll be weakening. So the front will approach aggressively and tilt and then slow down. We just don't know how far south it will go, but it does look closer to us than what it did yesterday. So therefore, the severe potential has gone up. Now, we need the front to keep moving just a little bit more south. That way we can get out of the severe zone and just get into as long as you're just along it, you'll be in general showers and thunder. But if you get the front stuck where it is, maybe moves to just, say, Louisville, it would keep us in a severe risk even for Wednesday. And that would be added as another alert day. We're hoping to give you guys one day at least, but it's possible. Otherwise, we get into Thurby. The front itself, while it's still here, it changes because now the low pressure it's forming that's going to attach to it is going to basically grab the boundary, make it its own little warm front. It'll be angled. Let me redraw this. Sorry. Bob Ross is so good at this. I'm not. It will create more of a warm front look to the front. It'll dip. And this will have a round of thunderstorms with it that will surge in for Thursday morning. Once the low scoots to the other side of our area, because it's tracking mainly north, and the low gets to roughly about here, we would then have the cold front portion of it, the tail portion of it, and that's in the southeast corner of the low track. You don't want to be there, and that would be Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening. That would produce another round of strong storms, maybe severe. But with this being a stronger low, not only does it help at least grabbing the front and yanking it away, but it's strong enough that it looks like it may allow for us to really improve things for Oaks and Derby. The only thing we got to watch for Oaks and Derby, again, the wind on the backside of this is counterclockwise. This will throw back some low-level moisture, at least for a few hours Oaks day. That may lean to more of a mostly cloudy or even an overcast day on Oaks. It's possible with maybe some patchy drizzle, but I don't think it's going to be very heavy rain at all. I don't think it's going to be enough to even worry about ponchos right now. I mean, it looks minor, real minor and patchy. But overcast skies, yeah, that may keep us in the 60s, but that's actually great for what you wear heading out the track usually. And then that means for Derby Day, this slows even further away. And we'll have the chance to have a partly sunny sky and much improved setup there as well. So could we end all of this mess with a great ending to the Oaks and Derby altogether after such an active week? It is possible. All right, let me show you Futurecast. Kind of lays this out in a little more layman's terms here. It's reset. Here's Monday. There we go with the warm front passing on by. There's where the front sags to the south with severe weather likely along it. This will be a mix of supercells and damaging wind threat. Too early to talk about if it's going to be straight line and tornadoes. But I think right now all modes are on the table for next week of all severe types, and we'll get more specific when it gets closer. But this can produce all, yes. Is one outweighing the other? Too early to know that. But this does have active weather along it. I just don't know how far south, again, its reach will be. Will it be to Louisville? If we don't see any impact Louisville Thursday afternoon, we'll easily get in the mid to upper 80s and dry and almost hot like summer outside. And then the storms roll in later Tuesday night. But Indiana, unfortunately, you'd be in a rough spot during the daytime period. So Still early, still some wiggle room with that. But that's how it looks on paper today. The front, again, tries to get stalled out. You can already see here as we get into Wednesday where the warm front's trying to develop a little bend in the front as this low is getting its act together. But right now, for Wednesday, it looks like just a scattering of showers and storms, very similar to what we've got today. As long as the front is right over us, I don't see a huge severe risk. It just looks like waves of rainfall, but we may have to be talking about flooding and high water levels in creeks and streams because at this point it'll be nonstop showers and heavy rain, right? So we'll need to watch that too carefully. Then we get into Thurby. And this is when the low is beginning to move in, and it'll have that curl of severe weather with it on the southeast side as it passes from Illinois to Indianapolis to Ohio. And that's where problems can come in with severe weather. And then here we go in Oaks. We wrap it up. Maybe a spotty shower and drizzle. It's not going to show up on Futurecast here, but that is a typical thing to happen in this scenario. And then Derby Day, partly cloudy, and into the 70s. Here is the severe maps that you guys love to look at. Here are the analogs on the far left column. They highlight the severe. I put the circles where we're at. They highlight the severe for Tuesday, not so much Wednesday. Back Thurby. The middle column is the AI CSU model, highlights us in particular for Tuesday. Not so much in our area on Wednesday, but it does for Thursday or Thurby. Storm Prediction Center so far has only outlined the Tuesday event, which includes our area now. They have not filled out the other 2 days just yet, but they alluded that is possible. So really, when you look at the data trends, they actually are doing fairly well, right? They're agreeing on the storyline this is likely going to take. So that's why our confidence has been high enough today to go with the alert day declaration there. All right, for Oaks specifically, we'll go with a chance of, this is more drizzle, 68, mostly cloudy type of setup. And for Derby 151, we'll go with 72, and we've lowered the rain chance down to 10%. I'm hoping we can take it all the way out, and boy, that is possible. Let me show the 10-day and get to your questions. Sean, 10-day looks interesting on CSU. Yeah, again, but it really depends. How far south does that drop happen? Otherwise, that highlighted area in CSU would be Indiana. Angry Shark, hey, how you doing again? Why did the front sit or stall in the Ohio River Valley? We just have dominant high pressures once you get into our latitude, and these fronts are just more active across the higher latitudes. So they come in aggressive through the plains, but they run into these blocking highs like that big H ahead to the east, and that begins to slow them down and tilt them. And when that happens, you become stalled. So it's very common for us in particular, not just us, but parts of Missouri, Arkansas, the Tennessee Valley. We're all kind of prone to these stalled fronts like that, just where we're at on the map. That's basically geography that played out for us there. Let's see. Adam, May 4th and 5th model show cold. Shot of air. It looks cooler. I wouldn't say cold, but cooler. I don't think we'll get another frost out of that setup, but we'll be watching it because right now this whole pattern is so blocky and erratic that it wouldn't surprise me that there could be a colder fish in the model show. So we'll see. See what happens. Would you say Kentucky Twitch is like TikTok? Oh, someone's asking what Twitch is. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of similar. Okay, which days on the severe side, Vanessa? Very low wind chance across central Kentucky for this afternoon. Very, very low. I'm not overly worried about, to be honest. It's really Tuesday, especially Tuesday night, very early, the wee hours of Wednesday morning, and again, Thursday. But if that front does not go far enough south Wednesday, then the gap in the middle there in the 10-day, that Wednesday would be an alert day too. I know. Trust me, our staff is staring us all down. Like, what? Are you serious? I mean, they're doing so much work right now, getting all the cable laid, getting ready for our live events, Sunrise to the Downs, all of our shows we get planned, not to mention Derby Festival event. Folks have got a lot planned and writing on this too, right? So there's a lot of pressure. So we're not trying to do this lightly. We're just trying to make sure that you're given as much of a heads up to protect yourself. And they will make their decision. They've got a lot of weather info too. And we'll just keep you updated as things go on. And all we can hope is that things just end up being either different in timing to where it's not impacting a lot of the events, or it's a weaker version of this. But the trend is not going that way. And because of that, we have to react. That's what we do here. As you guys know, it's our job. What about the Dwight Yoakam concert tonight, Brent? It's going to be spotty at that time at Iroquois at the amphitheater, but there is a chance toward the middle part of the concert that there could be another wave to sneak in. So keep the wave weather app handy. It will notify you as long as you put on there, follow me. So instead of being set to your home location, it'll follow your phone. That way, if there is heavy rain or lightning detected, it will notify you on the app, and you can see that notification. Just look at the radar and see where it is. But it would be spottier. So I'm hoping in your favor. We have several from here going there. So that's where we're up to date on Dwight Yoakam tonight. Yeah, all severe types are on the table for next week. And I'm not able to give a scale to them, but they're all on the table. Okay, everyone looks good. All right, it is 7 minutes after 1. I got to run because I have to get ready for a cut-in coming up, and then get ready for 3 o'clock. And the Euro is updating right now, and so we're all trying to pour hair out, but we got a lot to update. So let me get to it. You guys, appreciate you for watching again today. It's a little easier again. Sometimes these midday updates, you guys prefer them then, let me know. I will try to accommodate you guys on more of these midday ones. The early morning ones, though, I'm going to try to aim back toward next week. And I may end up having to do 2. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the flip side.